see the information about the organ system. Okay, remember again, how many organ systems that we have? 11. Right? The first one, we're going to learn about the integumentary system. Right? So this is the first organ system in human body that we will learn. Integumentary system. Okay. And I mentioned in the class during the introduction that integumentary system actually consists only one organ. One organ only. What is the name of the organ of the integumentary system? Skin. Yeah, the organ is called the skin. Only this, and this is the largest, heaviest organs in our body. Now the skin in the integumentary system also have what we call accessory structure. Okay, so skin plus accessory skin structure. Okay, so basically you're gonna learn about the skin plus the structure that present in the skin or on the skin. Get it? Now, there are two types of skin that humans have, right? Two types of skin. First, right, the skin, most of our body have this first type of skin, which is a little bit thin. Right? Therefore, it is called what? Thin skin. Thin skin. So the name of that first type of skin is called the thin skin. Again, this is not trick. The name is telling you this skin is thin. Okay, almost all our body consists of the thin skin. You get it? The second one, if you have thin skin, then we have thick skin. So thick skin. It is only present in a special place in our body, especially here, on the palm, and here, on the sole. Okay? So thick skin only present in specific place, which is the palm and the sole. That's the location of the thick skin. Are you with me? Now, what's the difference? Of course, the thin skin means thinner. The thick skin thicker. Why and how? We're gonna see the structure. In front of you, you have the models of the skin. Okay, so we're gonna learn that model. Okay, the skin is actually consists of two main layers. Right? Every skin, whether thick or thin, we only have two main layers. Okay. The first one is the layer on the top. Okay, the top, outside, out. What is the terminology for the top or outside layer? Epi. Okay, epi. So dermis means skin. Get it? Therefore, the top layer over here, okay, is called, what is called? Epidermis. Dermis means skin, epi means the top or outside. Okay? Epidermis. This epidermis consists of ET. What is ET? Epithelial tissue. Right? So it consists of or made of ET. Epithelial tissue, especially this is the epithelial tissue that cover the organs. Right? Remember there are several types of ET, the one that cover and lining the organ, and also the one that produce hormones or sweat and everything else. It's called the gland, right? So this one is a type of the one that lining the organ. It consists of, remember, ET consists of many cells that bind together or separated? Bind together. So the cell is actually bind together. The cell mostly flat. The cell mostly flat. Okay? So flat cell, okay, is also known as squamous. Okay? Squamous. Okay? So this is, if you see from the side, if you cut, let's say you cut the skin over here, you see from the side, the cell will be flat. Like the root, right? The root, if you see from the side, is flat. But if you see the top, maybe square or round, right? But this is from the side. They are flat. Yeah? Therefore, it's called a squamous. Consists of squamous cell. Yeah? And that squamous cell, they have many layers. Thousands of layers. So flat cell with many layers. Okay. So actually on the bottom is look like a finger. That's up and down. Okay. So this is many layers over here. Okay. So you're gonna have nucleus, in cell. Okay? So you can fill it out by yourself, okay? But you know, they're all packed with many layers of flat cell, squamous cell. So many layers, okay, many layers, in the terminology is called stratified. Stratified. Okay? Stratified. You get this one? So therefore, we can say over here, epidermis made of stratified squamous ET. Okay? That's going to be the type of ET in the skin. You get this one? So it has name, and the name is telling you how the structure look like. It has many layers of flat cell. That's the epidermis. You get this one first. Okay. The second layer, okay, which is here, which is gonna be thicker than the top layer. Okay. What is the second layer called? Just dermis, which is skin. Dermis is dermis. And dermis consists of or made of Sytem. What is Sytem? Connective tissue. What happened with the cells in the Sytem? They are separated or bind together? Separated. They are separated. Okay? So the cell, this is cell, this is another cell. Okay, they are separated. Most of the cell, there are many types of cells, but one of them is called the fibroblast. Fibroblast, that's the name of the cell in the dermis. And this cell, remember CT, if you still remember, CT, connective tissue, consists of cell plus, what is the other components of CT, connective tissue? Cells and, that's very important. The CT is consists of cell and matrix. Wonderful, good. Matrix. Okay, you get this one? And the matrix of the CT consists of two types. The first one is called the ground substances, and the other one is called fibers. Now you see the name over there is I'll be telling you what is going on with that fibroblast. Fibers. Ground substances and fiber. And there are three types of ground substances, maybe liquid, like in the blood, what? Or maybe solid, like in the bone, or maybe gel. Actually over here is kind of gel. It's not solid, it's not also liquid in the dermis. So therefore, you can push the skin, it's going back because it's not gel, it is not solid, it is not also liquid. Get it? So this is gel, kind of. Now, the fibers also consist of three types. So it's these three types may be solid, gel, or liquid, right? Especially for the dermis, the ground substances is gel. So I'm gonna make a circle over that, right? So the dermis have the type of gel ground substances. The fiber, okay, also there are three types of fiber. Okay, the very thin one, the thinnest one, is called a reticular fiber. Reticular fiber. Okay, the second one a little bit thicker and elastic, therefore it's called the elastic fiber. Elastic fiber. And the last one is very, very thick and strong. Mostly we have it in our bone. Anybody know the name? What we have in our bone? Collagen. Collagen. It's called collagen fiber. Collagen fiber. This is the thickest type of fibers, right? These fibroblasts over here produce fibers. Get it? Therefore, over here, then you're gonna see a lot of fiber, mostly reticular and elastic. There are some collagen, but mostly elastic and reticular fiber in the dermis. Get? Okay. So I'm gonna make a circle. Okay, mostly the fiber is reticular and elastic, and the ground substances is gel. Okay. Under the dermis there is a layer. It's called the hypodermis. Hypodermis. However, this layer is not part of the skin, but we put there. Hypodermis mostly consists of another type of city, which is fat tissue. It's called the adipose. Okay, epidermis mostly adipose connective tissue, which is fat tissue. Okay, you get this one first? Okay, how many layers in the skin? Two. Epidermis made of stratified squamous epithelial tissue, and the dermis made of connective tissue. Okay, are you with me? Okay, now the epidermis. We're gonna learn the epidermis first. I'm gonna erase over there. Okay, in the epidermis, if it is thick skin, it has 5 layers. That's the reason why it is thick. If it is thin skin, like here, it only have 4 layers. Okay, so thin skin have 4 layers. The thick skin has 5 layers. Okay, are you with me? Yeah. I'm gonna lay epidermis layer. I'm gonna just put the list of layer over here. Okay, all the layers. Okay, the name of the layer. Okay, the bottom layer over here, which is the one that border with dermis, consists of one layer of cell. Okay, it's called stratum in layer. Stratum basal on the base. Stratum basal. The second layer after that, okay, on the top of this basal layer, there is several layers of cell. It's called stratum spinosum. Stratum spinosum, spine. The next layer on the top of that spinosum, there is another layer. It's called stratum granulosum. Okay, so cell in this layer will have a lot of keratin granules. So keratin granules, like a sand, a lot of sand. Granules means sand structure inside it. But the keratin is actually proteins. It is water repellent proteins. So in our skin we have proteins that repel water. Therefore our skin is not absorbing water. It protects us from what? Mostly from inside our body. It will keep our water inside our body. What you call that? Protect us from dehydration. It protect us from dehydration. This is the function of the keratin. You get this one first, right? So in the stratum granulosum, most of the cell will have that granules, keratin granules. You get it? And then on the top of that, if it is thick skin, it is only present in the thick skin. It will have the next layer over here. The next layer is actually dead cell. The cell only dead actually. It's called stratum lucidum. Stratum lucidum consists of dead cell. The cell already died. You get that? And the last layer is called the stratum corneum. Of course, the top layer will be all dead cell, a flaky dead cell. Some people have a disease called psoriasis. Have you ever heard about people with this? Yeah. So this is problem with English, right? You don't really say the P. Psoriasis. What is that? It's flaky dead cell on their skin. So they actually produce the skin cell or the skin cell dead earlier than normal people. So they have a lot of that flaky dead cell on their skin. So that actually the last layer is called the stratum corneum, which is on the top over here. So on the top you will not see actually there is no nucleus on the top cell. Because nucleus is actually expelled. Mostly they will have a lot of keratin instead of nucleus. So the top cell is kind of sacrifice themselves. They expel their own nucleus to be placed by what? By keratin. That process is called the keratinization. Keratinization. What is that? Replacement of nucleus by keratin in the mostly cells in the stratum corneum in order to protect us from dehydration. Get it? You follow this one first. Now, this is 5 layers. And I mentioned before, only thick skin have the 5 layers. the thin skin only have 4 layers. Which one is not present on the thin skin? I'm gonna make a circle over here. The one that's not present on the thin skin is stratum lucidum. There is no stratum lucidum in the thin skin. Just remember, don't tell Lucy, okay? Lucy is thick. Okay? Don't tell Lucy, okay? Just Lucy is thick. Right? If there is no Lucy, it's become thin. Okay? That's the way to remember. So if I put that in the exam, on the question, make sure you know which one do not have. Oh, with stratum, with epidermis layer is not present in the thin skin. Lucy, why? Lucy. Maybe that's not the correct reason, but at least you know, right? You know, yeah, that there is no Lucy in the thin skin. Are you with me first? Yeah, that's the different type of layers in the epidermis. Now, in the epidermis, in addition of layer, they have cell over here. What? Cell. I'm going to erase that in the bottom. Okay. Cell of epidermis. There are 4 types of cells in the epidermis. Of course, there are millions of cells over there, but it only consists how many types? 4. 4 types. The most abundant one, let's say 90% or more than 90%, is a cell called keratinocyte. Okay, now the name is actually telling you something over here. What does cytes mean? Cell. What is keratin? Here. What is keratin? Water equivalent protein, right? So what is the function of the keratinocyte? Produce this protein. Remember, cell are able to produce the protein. What? They have what? Ribosome. Right? So this keratinocyte, the main function is to produce keratin that will protect us from dehydration. Okay? It's 90, maybe more than 90% of cell in the epidermis is keratinocyte. Okay? From the bottom to the top, they will fill with the keratinocyte. Especially in the bottom one over here, on the stratum basale, the keratinocyte is actually the stem cell. The stem cell of keratinocyte, which is the cell that keeps performing cell division. What is the name of the cell division that performed by the skin cell? Remember, there are 2 types of cell division. No, cell division. There are 2 types of cell division. Mitosis and meiosis, right? So this one will be what? Mitosis or meiosis? Mitosis, because it will produce the same cell, right? Which is the same identical cell. So the cell, the stem cell over here, will produce the new cell, and the new cell, how many cells that usually produce from one cell for the mitosis? One cell will produce 2 daughter cells, right? Which is identical. So produce 2 is gonna be push up. You see the one? Push all the way up, and the top one will be what? Will be out from your cell. Okay, you get this one? Okay, so this is the keratinocyte that present in the stratum basale, mostly the stem cell. And then going to the top will be just regular keratinocyte, produce keratin, and then the top over here, dead cell. The keratinocyte that mostly filled with the keratin without nucleus, because they're dead. They're going to be replaced by the new cell from the bottom. Can you follow this? Okay, this makes sense, right? This is logical. That's what happens with your skin. You always change your skin actually. Your skin cell is always changed. It's always replaced. Okay, that's the way you protect yourself. Okay? Now, the second type is also, let's say I'm gonna put it here a little bit bigger. Also mostly located in the stratum basal, Remember keratinocyte all the way from the top to the bottom, right? From the bottom to the top. But this second type of cell mostly located in the stratum basale. The name is melanocyte. Melanocyte. Right? What does cyte mean? Cell. The second over here, the first word is melanin. Melanin is a name of proteins that give darker color. Okay? So this is what we call the dark skin pigment. Okay? So melanin is a dark skin pigment. It's produced by which cell? Melanocyte. And just for information, everybody have the same number of melanocytes. It doesn't matter whether you're white people or darker skin people, the number of melanocytes is the same. What is the difference? The production. And the production increased by light. Therefore, if you are tanning under the tanning bed, what happens with your skin? Darker, right? Because what? More melanin will be produced. On people that live on the tropical country for long period of time, years, 1,000 years, what happened with them? The skin, have a darker skin. Become part of their gene. Okay, so melanocyte. The third one, you write down. Okay, write down the function of this melanocyte, keratinocyte, right, by yourself. The next one, okay, is spread over here. Mostly in the stratum spinosum, granulosum, is spread everywhere. It's not that many, but they are able to move. That cell able to squeeze. Right? That cell is called the Langerhans cell. Right? Langerhans cell, sometimes also called the dendritic cell. Right? So what actually this cell? The cell able to move, able to protect yourself from infection, from bacteria. So this is actually, Langerhans cell is actually white blood cell. Right? White blood cell that stay in your skin to fight against infection, protect you against bacteria. See that one? Yeah, that's the third type of cell in epidermis. The last one, there is a special cell at the bottom of the stratum basale. Okay, and that cell connected to your sensation, to your sensory system. Yeah, that cell is called Merkel cell. Merkel cell, because it is attached or touched by your sensory system. This cell actually help you to feel, to sense the touch. Okay? For touch sensation. If somebody touch you on the skin, then it will go to this Merkel cell, carried into your brain. Okay? So that's the Merkel cell. This is a sensory cell used especially for touch. Touch sensory cell. Okay, you follow this? Okay, that's the epidermis. We're still in the epidermis over here, right? We're still in the epidermis. So it consists of 4 types of cells: keratinocytes, the most abundant one, melanocyte, Langerhans cell, and Merkel cell. Okay, now in the dermis, okay, we go to dermis. Dermis consists of 2 layers, so we're going to separate the layer over here. This top layer about 20% thick, okay, it's called the reticular layer. Okay, so this is dermis. I'm sorry, not reticular. The top layer is look like a finger, like a fingerprint, right? It's look like finger up and down, up and down, up and down. That layer, up and down, is called papillary layer. Okay, so the top one is papillary layer. Okay, this is dermis layer. First is papillary layer on the top, about 20%, and 80% is the reticular layer. Okay, so papillary layer and reticular layer. Papillary layer is actually the one that gives you fingerprints. Your fingerprint is actually coming from this. It's actually the the papillary layer will be show up in your finger as a fingerprint. So everybody will have different type of fingerprint, right? It's very specific. Therefore, it's called a fingerprint. Right. So that's the layers of the dermis. Do you have questions about it? Now we go back to the thick skin and thin skin. Now what is the difference now? First, of course, one thicker, the other one thinner. The thicker one has how many layers? Epidermal layer? 5. And you have to know the name. How to remember the name? Start with B, start with S, start with G, L, and C, right? I usually remember the name by remember the first letter. I can say boy. Boy say girl look cute. Boy say girl look cute. Or if you don't like that, you can say boy say girl like cash. Whatever you like more. Okay? But the look cute or like cash. But it will give you the name of layer from the bottom to the top. Basale, spinosum, granulum, basale, lucidum. See? Boy say basale, spinosum, girl, granulosum, look, lucidum, cute, corneum. You get this one? Hey. So that's the second difference. The thick skin have 5 layers. The thin skin only have 4 layers. Another difference if you see the thick skin and the thin skin. Look at your palm and what you call it behind your palm. Behind your palm. Look at that. Which one have hair?
Top part.
The thin or the thick?
Thin.
The thin skin. The thin skin have hair. The model that you have, over there is a thin skin or thick skin? The thin skin, because what? It has hair on it. So this one is thin skin. It has hair. On the thin skin, you have hair. The hair is actually coming from the bottom, from the dermis layer over here, to the top. So the skin that have hair will be thin skin. Are you with me? Now, every hair filament over here will always have the gland that produce the oil. That's the reason why our hair is actually oily. You get this one? It's oily. So it's always have the, I'm gonna erase this one. Okay, so this is hair. The top one is called the hair shaft. So the one that you see is called the hair shaft. Okay, so this is hair shaft. Okay, and then the bottom one over here, the one that anchor into the dermis, is called the hair root. So this is one of the accessory skin structure, right? The first one is the hair. So hair root. Close to the hair root, you're gonna have hair follicle. The hair follicles consist of cells that keep dividing. This is the stem cell for the hair. Therefore, your hair will be growing, right? Growing. Because of what? This one, the hair follicle. Right? It consists of stem cells. Right? That keep dividing. It is mitosis or meiosis? Mitosis or meiosis? Mitosis. Meiosis only for reproduction, right? So mitosis. Is growing. Your hair will be growing. So hair shaft, hair follicle, hair root. Right? The middle part of the hair is called a hair cuticle. Okay? And every hair will have or will attach to this gland. This gland produces oil. Therefore, it's called the oil gland. And another name for the oil gland is sebaceous gland. Species of oil gland. You with me? Okay, we're gonna put another one over here. There is another gland. So now you have hair as one accessory structure. I'm gonna put the first accessory structure. Okay, so accessory skin structure. The first one is hair. The second one is gland. We have oil gland or sebaceous gland. And oil gland always attached to the hair, and therefore your hair will be oily. The second, there is another gland that produces the sweat outside your skin, outside your body. Now what you call that gland? Sweat gland. Sweat gland. Okay? Sweat gland is also known as pseudoferous gland. Okay? Pseudoferous or sweat. Okay? Gland. Okay? So the second one, sweat gland. Okay? There are two types of sweat gland. Okay? We have more of the sweat gland is called the eccrine sweat gland. This is all over our skin. The second one is only present in the special area. It's called apocrine gland. This is mostly located under the armpit. Okay, you see the armpit have a lot of apocrine gland, and in the groin area, pelvic area. Okay, so they produce different sweat. Which one is going to be stickier? Apocrine gland in the armpit and over here. Which one is going to be smellier? The smellier. Which one smell? Apocrine. Why? Because what? It has a lot of protein. It's a little bit sticky sweat. Okay. So apocrine in special area like armpit or in the genital area, pelvic area. Okay, that's apocrine. Eccrine all over our body. Okay, now look at this. We're gonna go back to difference between thin skin and thick skin. Based on this information, you know that sebaceous gland always attached to the skin. So where do you think the sebaceous gland will be present? In the thick skin or in the thin skin? In the thin skin, right? So you have more oily here on the thin skin. The sweat gland, because the thick skin do not have sebaceous gland, they will have more sweat gland. Okay? So your palm and your sole is actually gonna be sweatier than part of your body. A lot of sweat. If you don't believe me, put the glove and then you walk outside, gonna be wet, gonna be just water over it. Right? The same thing with your sole, is easy to get wet. Why? Because they have more sweat gland. Okay, again, which one have more sweat gland? Thick or thin? Thick. Which one have more oil gland? Thin or thick? Thin. Get it, huh? Yeah. Okay, that's the difference between thick skin. You can put it down, list by yourself, okay? So this 4 layer, 5 layer, thinner, thicker, okay? Have hair, no hair, more oil gland, more sweat gland, which one? You write down, okay, at home by yourself. So make sure you study that. Okay, that's the skin structure. Do you have questions for that? I'm gonna put the other accessory structure over here. It is not really part of your lab, which is here. And the end of the finger, you have this very thick dead cell. This is actually stratum corneum that is dead. This is dead cell. Finger, nail, the nail. So nail is another accessory structure of the skin. We're gonna learn that nail and some other glands in the skin during the lecture. This is just information for our lab today. Okay, it will help you to fill out to answer the lab report. Okay, do you have questions about it? On the last, I think the last page on your lab report is asking, let's see. Okay, plotting the distribution of sweat cell. Okay. Okay, this is actually experiment, but we don't do this. It's just based on the information that you got from this lecture. Okay, which will based on the class data number 15. Okay, the forearm of the palms and the hand has more sweat gland. Which one has more sweat gland? The forearm or the forearm is here, or the palm. We're going to be the palm because thick has more sweat gland, right? And then why is this expected reason? We already know the answer. More sweat gland. Okay. And then which other body areas will have more sweat gland? If it is tested, it will have more sweat. Remember, only 2 places on your body that have thick skin. It's going to be the palm and what? We use palm. Sole, right? The other one will be the sole. Okay? Sole. Which organ system control the activity of eccrine sweat gland? And we already mentioned about homeostasis in the lecture. When you sweat, which one control to cooling down your body? Which system control your homeostasis? No. Homeostasis. Remember, only 2 systems that control homeostasis. One of them is the most control. The nervous system. Right? Again, when you get sweat, then your nervous system sense it and then send information. Okay, you are hot, then you have to sweat. Okay, so it's the nervous system that control the sweat glands production. Okay. Now fingerprint again. For the fingerprints, this is the clue. Okay, to answer and also to do your fingerprinting today. And remember, this is the one that will get the extra point, and I need it after this lab. Okay, so I need it today, so make sure you submit it today after you perform that activity. So fingerprints, there are only three main types of fingerprints. Okay, fingerprints. So based on this information, then you should be able to give the formula of your fingerprints, because you're gonna do the formula of fingerprints over there. Okay, the first type is look like this. Let's say this is your finger, like that. Okay. The first type gonna be, you're gonna see the line, the line going, and then from one side, and then end to the other side. From one side and to the other side. Okay, you see that one? Okay, start from one side and to the other side. And this one is called, it looks like an arch. Right? Have you ever been in St. Louis and go to the arch? Right? So it's arch. Right? It's an arch type. You can say A. Right? You can abbreviate it's an A type. Okay. The next fingerprint. Okay. It is coming from one side. It's going back to the same side. So right? Look at that line later under your finger. When you're observing your fingerprint. Okay. I want you to look off here, not on the top. On the top it's going to be all the same. But look around the different over here. Right? So this look like a loop, right? This look like a loop. Right? Therefore, it is called a loop. L. Okay. The last one. Okay. It's gonna be start from the middle and then just roll. Again, try to find it. Okay, not on the top. Look somewhere over there on your fingerprint. And this one is called, I don't know how to say it, but it's world. For me, it's easy to say W. World. What? World. Now, you get it right. So this teacher, your job today is to see. I'm gonna give you the magnifying glass and see. Okay. First, which one first? Right hand or left hand? Right hand. So right hand. Look under the magnifying glass and find it. If your fingerprint was about A, and then put A. Draw it. Okay. Draw your fingerprints on the box and put the letter A. And then for the second one, let's say this is another arc, then you put another A, right? The next one, you have another arc, the third finger, then you put A again. So you're gonna see your formula, whether you are AA, WL, or maybe you just loopy people, all L, we don't know. It's up to your fingers. Right? Do you have a question for this activity? Again, you will get extra point for this activity. Okay, you can take this. Okay, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 5. So maybe take 2 over there and 3 here. Right? And share that. Okay, after you finish, don't forget to submit that.